My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review for The Sound of Metal. Now, this is a movie I've heard great things about. It was nominated for Best Picture. I was looking forward to watching it, and after watching it, I can say that it's decent. I don't think this is a great movie, but let's begin talking about what I did like with the cast first. Riz Ahmed is an actor I like. I thought he was really good in Four Lines in the Night Of. I thought he was great in Nightcrawler. But ever since then, he's been in movies like Rogue One and Venom, movies where he hasn't had the chance to shine, and I'm glad he had this leading role because he's great here. This is his best performance. He carries this movie incredibly well, and he hits every single emotional beat he needs to. You've also got Olivia Cooke, who isn't in this movie much, which I think is a real shame, but the short time she is in this movie, she's great. There was a few scenes where just the way that she's looking at Riz Ahmed, you can just feel the heartbreak. And it's so effective. Paul Raci is also really great in this movie. He just has a wholesome quality to him, and I thought he was good for what the movie gave him to work with. And then you've also got Lauren Rodolphe, who isn't in this movie much, but I thought she was good in the short time she was in it. Nothing overly memorable, but a good presence nonetheless. And I do think this movie is well directed by Darius Martel, someone who I'm not familiar with at all. But I think he directs this movie well enough, and I think the best aspect of this movie, and you're going to hear this from everyone who talks about this movie, is the sound. The usage of sound throughout is absolutely masterful. The fact that this movie focuses on a drummer who's losing his hearing, the way that they find a way to immerse the audience into what he's feeling, into what he's going through, is handled really effectively. In the first scene of this movie, I love how they heighten every bit of sound. He puts down a plate and you can hear it loud and clear. He dances with his girlfriend to a song, and you feel the importance of sound. And for that to be taken away from him, you really do feel like his entire world is crashing down on him. You feel the weight of everything going on and how this is going to be permanent. And I think it just allows you to feel for the character. And I love how the movie switches between having the sound there and then switching to Ruben's perspective where you don't hear it. I thought that was used really effectively throughout, and I love the character arc of Ruben, about how he's a guy who wants to just be normal. He wants to go back to normality, and how he's having a hard time accepting what has happened to him. And I thought it was a really strong character arc of having him learn to accept how his life is now. But unfortunately, I cannot say this is a great movie. I do have issues with it, the biggest one being the one time. This movie is 2 hours long, and it certainly didn't need to be. It is far too long, and there's not enough material for that length. And it really does affect the pacing of this movie. After the first act of this movie, I found it slowed down way too much. I think this movie could have easily been an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes. You could shave a good 40-45 minutes out of there, and it would have made the movie all the more better. And this movie is very one note. If you pause it at the 40-minute mark after the first act of this movie and you think about what's going to happen in this movie and what the main character is going to go through, that's exactly what happens. So you're just waiting for the movie to get to that point, and it feels like you know the message of the movie before the movie even tells you it, because it is just so one note. It was the obvious direction for this movie to go in. It would have been nice if they played around with the different characters there and showed how this could affect him in other ways of his life. I think it would have been great if they focused on the struggles that could come with being in a relationship when this is happening with you. Like I said, the girlfriend is pretty much out of the picture after the first 40 minutes. It would have been great if we saw that she had to learn sign language too, and they're trying to talk, and he's just having a hard time because he's adapted to this new way of life. And maybe he likes the teacher now, and he wanted to be with his girlfriend, but things have changed, and maybe he likes the teacher, and they could be some sort of love triangle or something like that, where you've got these complications and these relationships that have struggles, and just highlight that. But the movie doesn't do that. It keeps it very simple, very one note, and that's just not enough for the one time of this movie. I still think it's effective in what it sets out to do. I think the performances are great. I think it's well directed with some great sound, but it's not a movie I think I'm ever going to revisit. It's a good one-time watch. I think it does what it needs to, but I would have liked it if the movie did a bit more and if the movie was shorter. So I'm going to go ahead and give The Sound of Metal a 6 out of 10. Okay, have you heard The Sound of Metal? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out.